You're listening to Nerve Radio.
What's up? This is Afternoon Delight. How are ya?
Hello.
Hi. How you doing, guys?
Okay, so Afternoon Delight is a comedy chat show presented by myself, Simon Schneider, and...
Jack Martin Jones.
And
Tim.
and also Zach Dale Clutterbot's meant to be here, but he's a bit
Tired.
Tired apparently. Can't quite be here.
He's feeling worse for wear this morning, I believe. But
Yeah.
You'll
be double the person.
I'll be weird on his behalf.
Yeah, and also Joanna Poulton's usually here. However, she couldn't make it either.
Why isn't he here?
She's in Bristol.
Yeah, she's away for the weekend.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, fine.
I assumed that we lived in a society where someone could go away without their motives being questioned.
Not when you have a radio show to do.
Yeah, commitments
Joanna.
and responsibilities.
Commitments and responsibilities. That just so happens to be the umbrella topic for today.
Oh, that was a lazy...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, mate. There I was. You know, I spent about a good 3 weeks over Christmas thinking what would be a really nice umbrella topic for today's show.
Stop lying.
Okay.
Don't lie.
I won't. But I'm not lying about the topics we intend to talk about on today's show. I'm
Unless
not
we
lying, I
forget to do
swear.
them.
Woohoo! Me and Tim are going to talk about what we've done this week, which includes a humorous little anecdote with our house, and by humorous I mean slightly concerning.
Very concerning.
Yeah. We're also going to be talking about Jack's endeavours, which includes a debate, which he'll embellish on later, and a charity event. Tim has a little story, I have a little story, and then Jack has a little story.
Are we playing any games today, or
We were going to play Zach's game, but we'll try and crowbar that in if we can.
I tell you what, I will
prepare
think if Zach turns up, then he can ask the question. If not, I will come up with a question for the second hour, and you two can both play Zach's game, and I'll judge the winner.
That'll be fun.
That's fine.
Yeah.
And also, if you are listening, Albert, feel free to tweet in.
Yeah.
As we know, we've got one listener today.
Yeah.
As I got a text just before we came on air saying, I will be listening. So,
We have a fan base. We do
we?
have a fan base.
Of one.
Of at least one.
Well, there was also that person who won the shirt.
Oh, yeah, they
got
never
the
picked
shirt.
it up.
Yeah.
Oh, well, his loss.
Well, has Albert tweeted in?
Not yet.
Not yet, but we know he's listening. And Albert, because you are our loyal fan base, we will be providing you with a prize.
Yeah.
The old fire station, for you, will be providing free drinks in exchange for money.
Woof.
And
Gee
that's
willikers.
just for you, Albert, for being a loyal fan on this show. So,
The guy...
It's wondrous.
if we're anything, we're generous.
yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Not
So,
as generous as
if,
milk.
like Albie, you want to be a super fan of Afternoon Delight, you are welcome to Twitter in on @NerveRadio. Find us on Facebook, also @NerveRadio, or text into the studio on 077 66404142. That's 077 66404142.
What I've never got, you know, when people like I always used to, you know, like Saturday morning kids TV shows.
Yeah.
They would always have a thing where you could text in.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd always want to text in. I'd always want to have something to say.
Yep.
But they repeat the number courteously so you can get it down. But I always think that they read it out too quickly. So they go, oh, you can text in on 07766404142. That's 07766404142.
Yeah.
I can just about get the first four numbers, and now in an age of Sky Plus, that's fine because I can pause it and read the number. But back in the days when I don't go why they didn't just go text in on get the pen. They didn't even tell
Get your pen and paper. Come on.
Get something to write on, then tell.
I see your point.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just do it slower insteed of doing it twice?
Yeah, twice, really quickly, so you couldn't hear it.
Another reason why Digging It and Fox Kids were probably some of the best examples of television ever is because actually they gave you quite a while to jot it down. And between every show they'd have okay, so here's our number in case you want it. Good days. What's happened to television?
There's not been a kind of... You don't get the same kind of quality broadcasting practice as you did on Digging It and Fox Kids anymore. And
what happened?
Didn't Fox Kids go bust?
Probably.
They don't exist anymore, Fox Kids.
No,
they always change and rebrand, though. I was looking the other day online at some logos from the 90s and logos from the noughties onwards, and it's funny how, like, you remember the old eBay logo?
Yeah.
It was all kind of letters jumbled over each other, and Cartoon Network had those big diagonal...
I really like the new Cartoon
And the Windows
Network
one, it was a wavy window of four different colour squares, and Pepsi had the big... all of them have been straightened out. So like the Windows window now has just been almost like pulled tight and flat, so it's now just 4 squares in a box. The Cartoon Network logo is just 2 black and white squares next to each other. They're not all crazy anymore. The eBay logo now is just eBay. It just says the word. It doesn't have any, and everything's got boring, and that's how my week's been.
Yeah, gee whiz logos. You could put more effort into making us happy. Your minimalistic sort of dark and white logos with little colour.
My week's been boring, and it's logos' fault.
Tim's been falling into a pit of despair as he realises
there's no fun anymore.
Oppression of the noughties.
Tim Vivian Shaw, no fun anymore.
eBay's got a rubbish logo now, and everything's gone to the dogs.
Tell you what though, and as much as it pains me to say it, knowing what they do, you know who stayed true? McDonald's.
No, they haven't. They've got rid of the golden arches. It's now just brown and green and white.
Yeah, they've changed their colours from red and yellow. Also.
Yeah, they're not red and yellow anymore.
They're like green. Have you not noticed? Like
I
McDonald's
thought it was just
green.
the big yellow M on the red. No,
they don't use the clown anymore.
No, they don't.
They don't use the Hamburglar anymore.
He's like locked in a back room somewhere.
The Hamburglar was Burger King.
Let me out.
Has anyone seen a short film called Logorama?
Yeah, maybe. Tell me.
I recommend Logorama. If you type it into Google, it'll come up. What's one of the first videos? I highly recommend it. It's Pulp Fiction meets Logos. So say like all of the. So Ronald McDonald's in it. He's a bank robber, but there's like the little men from the MSN logo, and like the Firefox dog is an actual dog that somebody's walking. But everything is made of logos. The buildings, the cars, the helicopters. Guns, they're all made, like the gun is made out of the 007 logo. Everything's made out of logos, and then they tell this kind of Pulp Fiction kind of story. Highly recommend watching it.
Yeah.
The Firefox dog.
Yeah, I was going to pick up on that.
Fox.
Yeah, the Firefox Fox. Sorry.
Yeah.
Did I just say
name?
You said the Firefox
dog.
Oh, did I? Oh, sorry, Firefox Fox. Yeah.
But what's everyone's sort of week been like? We'll start with you, Jack, because me and Tim have had similar spiraling into depression weeks.
Yeah, it's been all right. It's nothing.
No
really
major development.
Been sorting out a new house because my house is horrible. My bathroom's wallpapered.
Our bathroom's wallpapered. What's your wallpaper?
Just
we've got better wallpaper.
Beige. Oh, beige.
Guess what? You'll never guess what we've got.
I laugh at your beige. What have we got, Tim?
We've got dolphins.
We've got dolphins.
Lots.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to make my bathroom better, because you should never wallpaper a bathroom.
No.
There's mold underneath the wallpaper. You can see it.
See,
it's disgusting.
We're in Toga House. We're very much of a case of hear no evil, see no evil. Unless it's blatant, there's blatantly a problem, like the door's gone.
Yeah.
Or there is no roof, then it's not a problem. If we can't see it, then there is nothing wrong.
I picked up on something funny there that audiences they might be confused at. We do it effortlessly now because it's how we know it, but we just called our house Toga House.
Did we?
Well, you.
Yeah.
You just effortlessly. Basically, we've nicknamed our house affectionately.
Do you know what we call our house?
What?
Sticky house. Do you know why? Because the previous tenants made everything sticky somehow. Like on the top of doors are just sticky.
Just before they left.
When we first moved in, the cutlery they left behind was sticky.
Before they left, they just rubbed honey on everything.
You know, also, my friend Tom, in his room, he looked into the wardrobe when he first moved in. It was just girls' underpants. In the wardrobe, girls' underpants. It's just like why didn't they bring their underpants?
Do you want to know something?
With them?
Maybe they were too sticky. Do you know? You know, in Japan, if you want weird, right? In Japan, they actually have vending machines where you can buy used female garments.
Lingerie.
Can you?
Yeah. Yep.
You can also buy birthday cakes in vending machines. That I think is pretty cool.
How does it not collapse when it drops?
I think it's like, you know, those ones where there's bottles and there's like a bar that goes up and it plucks it out rather than letting it drop and then moves it down. I think it's like that. Then the cake slides out. But I want to know is how many cakes have they got back there? The cake's quite big. A birthday cake is pretty substantial.
I just like the idea that it worked like a normal vending machine and it just against the glass and slid down.
Like it's for lonely people who want to buy themselves a birthday cake for their birthday.
And then
it's a
like
punishment. It just like slams down.
Just a little man crawls out, climbs up the vending machine, picks up the cake, just smears it on them.
And the guy that sells it's like, why isn't this working? And there's like lots of chocolate mush at the bottom where you pick up your stuff.
Just you put your hand underneath the vending machine, just smear it off the window into your hand, take it with you. But yeah, going back to back and then going back. Yeah, Toga House is I don't know where the name came from, but it's the name that we've adopted for our house.
And we're going to have to leave it soon.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to leave Toga House and
I've just had an idea, but you continue.
Yes, but it became synonymous with us now. So we are the four of us that live there are now basically called Toga House. But going back to how my week was, well, I've only been back recently. I only got back to Bournemouth about a week ago because I was quite ill. And since then, we've not really done much, have we? Apart from play Monopoly. Like I normally. Jack, how often do you play a game of Monopoly?
Not very.
Not very. So
it tears
would you say
apart
once
family,
every 2 or 3 years, maybe? Probably even more than that.
Yeah, it's increased a bit because of my girlfriend and her little sisters. So we play a lot of board games with them when we have to take care of them. It makes it out like we've adopted them. We haven't. It's just she babysits them.
Yeah, but
it's still not that much because they get really frustrated. Yeah. Monopoly is a frustrating game.
I come back and I've played 2 games in a week, and I want to make something very clear. And if Monopoly, because Monopoly tweeted us, because one of our friends tweeted that we were playing Monopoly, and Monopoly tweeted back, and I don't know what that means, but apparently that's quite a big deal. So we do know that they respond to us, and if Monopoly is listening, I hate you, Monopoly, because you do nothing but ruin friendships and families. I do nothing but despise the people I play against.
What happened?
I enjoy it.
It's just people fall out, don't they?
Oh, yeah, because like, you buy a property and
they just
like,
act horrible.
Dude, what are you doing? That's supposed to be my property. It's
Yeah,
like, well, you can trade with me. He's like, no, I don't want to trade with you.
I just have a tendency, my tactic, it doesn't pay off, but I buy the Browns, I set up a nice little empire, and occasionally people will come by and give me just enough money to stay in the game.
We play the Simpsons Monopoly, and in the Simpsons Monopoly, the Browns are Cletus's shack and the tyre yard.
So I like to put a hotel in a tyre yard that's on fire and buy a hillbilly shack.
Yeah, but the first game we played, you weren't there, and James was there, and he was like, "Oh, you buy the Browns because actually it's cheap to build stuff, and it's a good income." And he builds a hotel, and he propertizes it, and then no one's landing on it, and he just got really annoyed and was like, why was building a hotel next to a shack not a good idea? I thought this was a worthwhile investment.
Do you think Risk is as frustrating?
I've never played it, but I've always wanted to. It looks really good.
Come around our house. We play it all the time with the archaeology people.
Well, no, that's it.
And everyone gets really annoyed with me.
For me, in my life, there's been a resurgence of board games. Now I'm at university now, where I don't have TV license, although I have access to the internet and I can watch any TV show anytime. And we have 3 consoles at home. We've got we're
not short of things to do.
Yeah, we're not short, and we have quite a few games to play. But I really enjoy playing board games, and I don't know what it is, but I do like the fact that you're sat around and I'd love to play Risk. Absolutely love to.
Yeah.
But I want to play Lord of the Rings Risk.
I think you would be pretty good at combating me, because what I do is I turn everyone against each other by putting little thoughts in their heads. So it's like, he's going to attack you. Don't let him build up forces there. He's going to attack you. And then it was like, Jack's trying to help me out. What are you doing? And then I'm just there and I take the whole board and everyone hates me.
But seeing as we were talking about Monopoly and property, similarly this week, me and Tim have been looking for a house for next year.
Just like Jack.
Alongside our other housemates. And basically, admin fees for real estate agents are quite steep. So we saw an opportunity to bypass them by going through a individual.
What happened is that we were looking on sites like Gumtree and the Unilet website. If anybody is looking for a house at the moment, I would recommend going for Unilet.
Yes, because there are a lot of real estate agents that are more than happy to rip you off.
We got completely screwed over last year because I think we paid in total we paid like in one lump sum toward the summer. We paid about £500, and that was. We
have 3 tweets, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh no, Barmy's.
Albert Whitehead loves Risk. He can't wait to buy his drinks, and he's seen it. I don't know what that means. He's just in block capitals.
Yeah, he's texted me saying, "I love Logorama. I've seen it."
Okay, because I thought it was like basically he hit by something from the future, and like this studio was about to explode, and all he could do was type on Twitter, "I've seen it! Quick, escape!"
Maybe he's seen sticky panties before.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
We were talking about a lot of things that he could have seen. But yeah, going back to the house he had, that we were last year for the house we're living in at the moment. Toga house, which weirdly we've never worn togas in.
No,
there are no togas there at all. But
nope.
I digress. Yeah, we paid £500 in a form of deposit and estate agent administration fees, and they were really, really pedantic and jobs worthy. Because when we moved in, I got there we all arranged to come on the same day, but I got there at 10 a.m. and it was baking hot. It was in the middle of the summer. It was absolutely roasting, and I went, "Can I get the keys to the house?" And they went, "No, we're not giving you the key until everyone has come down and has signed this piece of paper." And I had my young sister here and my mum, and I live quite a long way away from Bournemouth, so it's like a 5-hour trip back. And they would nope. So I had to sit around in the car for 4 hours and wait for everybody else to turn up.
Yeah, they were really
they
not
were
accommodating for that.
So we tried to basically bypass this by going, right, we'll find
we've digressed. This is the actual story.
Yeah. We'll find a private. We'll find a private landlord. And we've got a great friend called Anish, and basically, whenever we need anything do, we just go, Anish, and Anish just sorts everything. Like for the last house, Anish doesn't live with us; he lives next door to us. But last year, Anish found our house for us.
Yeah, last year we looked for a house as a group of 8, and essentially what Anish did, because it was 2 houses of 4 we found, he found us a house.
Yeah.
He got us somewhere to live. So it came to this year, and we're like, oh, we've got to move out. We've got to find somewhere to live. Does anyone know how to do? No, Anish did it.
Anish
but what about no? Anish did it.
yeah. But yeah, he found a house that it was a 6-bed. It was pretty new. It was well furnished. It had a great garden. It was in a really, really good location. It's and it had water bills included.
Yeah.
And the only deposit you paid was £150.
It was genuinely a great
place. It's a fantastic deal. But we were then all really excited for it. We had a look online, couldn't find any better deals, so we paid the deposit to him. It's only just become apparent to us that we've all paid him £150 and not signed a contract. So essentially, we've seen a man, we've walked around a house, and we walked into the house, and there was like we saw all the bedrooms, and there was like some girls living there.
Yeah, we saw the tenants,
and then we went into a room where they were basically all sitting.
And he said
we all strolled and sauntered about the rooms where there weren't girls in. But as soon as he knocked on the door with the girls, "Can we come in, girls?" We all kind of just sneered from around the door. "Hello."
Yeah, and
oh, do you come with the house?
they were pretty girls. Yeah, and what happened? No lie, I'm not afraid to say that. I'm not afraid to say that. Landlord says, "Girls, guys are coming in to look at the room." Opens the door. We walk in. The second we notice that they're slightly attractive, we all just sort of go hunchback and like, "Hello." Is it a nice house?
The thing is, I want to laugh so much about this, but I had the same thing when I was looking at houses.
What? When you were looking at Sticky House?
No, because on last Saturday we looked at 3 houses owned by the same woman, and the first one we went in. The first house was all girls, 4 girls, and first time we went in, it was just a stench of vodka. Just like, it's like, oh,
were they brewing it in the bath upstairs?
We went into the living room and there was a table with loads of empty alcohol bottles. It was just like, and then the woman had a talk with them, obviously saying, "Guys, why did you have a big drinking night before I was going to show people around the house?" Obviously,
yeah,
I would assume. But they were pretty, and one of my friends who's very socially awkward, was just like, I was chatting. He was like, "So how's the house and stuff?" I felt I was going red because I'm not good at talking to girls.
No, that's exactly what we did. We thought, well, we're not going to get caught out next time. We're going to talk to the people in the house so we know what the house is like. As soon as we saw them,
we were like,
"I really like what you've done with the bedding. That's really nice bedding. And that's a really nice lamp. That's it. I can see myself living here with this lovely lamp."
I think I'm so.
I want to spend my life with this lamp.
Please be with me.
Basically, we walked in. We walked in as sensible university students, taking a sensible degree and potentially making money in the future. When we entered that bedroom, we became children.
Yeah.
We became sort of dishevelled, droopy-eyed, armless children.
I was 15 and spotty and 15 stone and a foot shorter again.
The second house was all right.
Oh, yeah.
There was no one there, but it was like a perfect house. One of my friends, Lewis, fell in love with the kitchen. He was just like, "Oh my god!" I was like,
please tell me this
pretty
is
weird.
Please tell me this is the same guy who wasn't interested in the women.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, girls, I'll just sort of turn my back to. This is a wonderful kitchen.
Is it like Romeo and Juliet where he's because you're saying he's in love with the kitchen?
He loved that kitchen. He was always like, "I want a better kitchen this year," and then he saw that kitchen and he was just like, "I want that house." And we've put thankfully there's no agency fees.
Is he gonna break up with your kitchen now? Look.
But the third
We've
house...
been through a lot.
The third house...
I've spilt things. You've not worked at times, but we've got there. And you've
always
me.
been there.
You've always been here for me. Where I stand now, you've always been here. I've not come home and you've been somewhere else. And
I've never caught you with another owner.
I appreciate that, but I can't do this anymore. I need to see another oven. It's fan assisted.
I know that there's currently a bun in your oven. However, I just can't take responsibility.
I won't do this, Janine.
But I'm so socially awkward at the third house. It was like 4 guys, so I was a bit more chilled. But I didn't know what to say to them because they were all in their rooms, just lying in their beds. And I noticed they all had guitars, so I just went, "Oh, you all have guitars then, huh?" And then I just went like, "Oh, what have I just said?"
You all have guitars. I know the guitar with the strum and the
Can you play Footloose?
I was so embarrassed. I was just like, "You guys do the talking. I can't look at them now. I can't look at them."
See, when we were viewing our house, there was 4 guys, and it was they left the house we were living in a disgusting situation.
Yeah.
There was like 15 plates on the landing covered in food, and just it was the house was rotting.
Yeah.
It was disgusting. But the landlord said that, look, it's going to be done up over the summer, and unfortunately it was.
Yeah.
Not very well, but it was.
It wasn't in the same state it was.
I made it my mission just to be like, to make it overt that I was socially competent. So I'd just be going, "Sup? Yeah. Sup? Yeah, you know. Sup? Okay.
What's up?"
Yeah, just like, not like we were with the girls. Not like, "Hello. Oh, guitars."
On that note, I think.
But no, hang on. We've got. Oh, well, we can go back. We need to actually talk about the problem we have with the house at the moment. The house that we are not going to have.
Stay tuned for the climax.
On that note, we're going to put on some tunes.
We're going to get sticky.
We're going to put on some tunes, and also. I thought of a bit of a Twitter competition because we're going to be leaving Toga House. We need a new name for it. So,
good idea.
Any listeners who are interested in potentially naming our house can post them onto the Twitter wall. We'll evaluate them, think about them, and potentially pick them. Okay, it's been great talking to all of you. I'm going to put on a little songy wongy. See you soon. This is Afternoon Delight, the comedy chat show that you listen to, you love, and will treat you right. What you just listened to was Sleaze, Knife Party, and Basket Case by Green Day. Now, where were we, Tim?
We were talking about going around to view houses, and we were talking about how we go from mildly socially competent to completely and utterly socially incompetent.
Yeah.
And we were talking because both of us
before you finish, I reckon I know why that is. It's because, and this is almost the sort of weird contradiction in a house viewing. You're looking for somewhere to go, but you're also invading someone's personal space.
I absolutely.
You are like walking into somewhere where someone should be safe.
And they don't want you there because, especially with that, like we get texts from our estate agent and they go. I've scheduled. There's some people want to view the house tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Can you text me if this isn't applicable?
If this is okay.
No, they say isn't. So if you don't reply, then they that's them saying, oh, we'll assume it's fine and we'll let ourselves in anyway.
Uh.
But yeah, it's an absolutely awful situation to go into because you are essentially invading someone's home just to sneer and to judge.
Yeah.
But that kind of leads us on to what we were going to talk about, because we both like Toga House and Jack's and Sticky House are both having viewings in the next couple of days. So we were kind of off air just briefly discussing what we're going to do when people come round for ours. Like, what kind of state is Sticky House in at the moment, bar Sticky?
Well, the thing is, like, every time we ever about to have a house viewing, they then cancel on that day, which makes me think the housemates just make it up so that I clean the whole house. But I clean it just really because of the landlord or the estate agent doesn't think, oh, we can take some of his deposit because they haven't kept it clean throughout the year, and that might mean it's damaging because they'll want an excuse. Yeah. I don't clean it for them because I will tell them not to take the house because it's a horrible house.
That's something we can do actually on our viewing, because we've not actually ever met our landlord. We're a good 5 months in, not met our landlord. All we really know...
Simon, where is our landlord? That's the question.
All we really know is that he started on a spiritual journey in India. Yeah. And where that went, no one knows.
We know he's somewhere between Ireland and New Zealand. We know he's somewhere between those two countries, going east.
And even then, right, if we were to get a letter or, find out somehow that he wasn't even on the planet, I don't think we'd be that surprised.
No, if someone does know
where our landlord is.
19 Muscliffe Road's landlord is.
Yeah, we're not going to say any names.
No, we shan't name names, but if you know that guy, he's a nice guy, don't get me wrong.
As far as we can tell from phone calls and emails.
He's a nice guy if he exists.
Yeah. What if he doesn't actually exist?
Do you think it's just the estate agents making up a landlord?
And they're sitting at their computers laughing and they're saying, oh no, just another week in India.
Well, I went to... I had to pop into the estate agents a couple of weeks after we moved in, and she was doing some bits and bobs on the computer. She was like, oh, where are you living? I was like, I think it was the road. And she went, oh, that house. You've got that landlord, have you? And I was like, yes. She was like, oh. And had a little quiet laugh to herself and then didn't say anything else. Just let me go, what's funny? Please feel free to share. And she was like, well, we came around for a viewing one time, and there was no one in the house. Then we heard giggling upstairs in the loft. And it smelt herbal.
Okay.
The house, we'll put it that way.
Yeah.
Things smelt herbal, and then all the boys that were living there popped their head down and said, "Oh, hello, hello," and then the landlord stuck his head down.
And you know what else is scary in our house? In fact, this is what we should do at the house viewing. Pretend everything's good. Oh yeah, it's really nice. You'll see this. This is good. This is good. We're not allowed in the shed. We're not. There's a big old padlock on the shed. Windows are too dark to see through. We're not allowed in.
It's not a small shed. It's a big shed.
Gargantuan.
We're not allowed in our shed, but it's fallen. The wind has just ripped one of the sides off, basically.
So you can get in it now.
Well, we could. We had the key to it.
Oh, right.
There's a lawnmower, and they keep the key there. And my friend used to keep his bike in there for a bit, but it's now to the point we're not allowed in the shed. And I say we need to tell them that the shed is just pretty much collapsed because there's no way we can hide this from them.
That might be a problem with your deposit.
I know.
No, if it was environmental damage, unless you.
I suppose, yeah.
The thing is, I want them to email them so that we can say, yeah, it was the wind. It's not our fault. You can't charge us for Mother Nature.
Just forward the bill to Mother Nature.
Pay for which it's not our fault.
I don't hold estate agents in that high a regard in terms of out of all.
Any estate agents listening?
Oh no,
sorry.
So it wouldn't surprise me if the act of divine intervention, and I know that's not something you believe in, Jack, but if that were to happen, they would probably class that as you vandalising the house.
The thing is, we do talk to the landlords, but they're always on holiday. They have come around before, but they're always on holiday, and one of them has a glass eye.
Oh wow!
And the right eye, and it droops down. It's a glass eye that droops down because it's not really focused.
So it wasn't placed properly.
It's not spherical. It's more kind of tear-shaped.
I don't know. It's just really hard not to look at it.
I thought you were saying
he's a nice guy.
You get those teddies with one eye that's a bit and it's hanging out.
This string.
No.
And then whenever he walks, it wiggles and
It is such a cushy job, though, isn't it? Because you think you get paid, like the landlord we're renting off, hopefully, this year, he owns 4 properties, and they're all going to be paying him, what, $2,000 a month?
Yeah.
And he doesn't pay that much because he doesn't go through estate
Well, he doesn't
agencies.
live anywhere. He's a traveller. He goes where the wind goes.
The guy next year.
Oh.
Yeah, he basically goes wherever he wants.
Yeah. Well, on that topic, Jack, you had something to share about your future endeavours.
Which one would you like to talk about first?
Let's talk about the charity event first.
Oh, okay, fine. I had an idea because this has also happened last Saturday because there was a fourth house viewing we were going to go to and we were going to be really early.
Oh, we didn't talk about what we're going to do when people come around to view our houses. Yeah, if you can sum up quickly.
Well, I did.
A little. Yeah, you're just going to. What will you do?
I'm going to show them the shed and I'm going to say they're not allowed in it ever. And I'm going to be like, you know, in films you get the creepy caretaker or something who doesn't talk much, but when he does talk, he says, "You're not allowed in there. Don't go in there." I'm going to be him.
Okay. I'm probably going to put one of you two upstairs in because the loft goes above my room, and just pretend like one of you's out.
Yeah.
And then have a broom in my room, and then when they come to view my room, just have someone scream really loudly upstairs in the loft, and then I'll bang the broom on the. That's a badmittens. I'll come up there, and then the screaming goes silent, and there's a bit of whimpering, and then we just move on.
Like nothing happened.
Okay. Yeah, it's actually quite close to the local Sainsbury's down the road, and it's. Like
have you seen the view?
Yeah, have you seen? There's a really nice view, really nice neighbour. Ah! Shut up, Mittens!
Dum, dum, dum. Jack, charity event.
Oh, okay. Because we were going to be really early, we decided to slow walk, like slow run.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like how you deliberately be slow, but we started doing overly.
No, I
slow.
don't know what you're talking about.
So,
You know, have you've seen
like
Reservoir Dogs?
Yeah.
Like the slow motion thing, like slow walking.
When they're
but
walking
you
towards the
actually
camera.
walk like that.
Oh, you're
deliberately walk
go
slow,
Oh, okay.
so that you don't get there too soon. I want to do a slow race for charity.
Ooh.
Everyone can take part. Slow race round the uni. Slow race. Different types of racing.
Different types of races.
I have rules.
Everyone's allowed.
Like you could do crab walk. You could do a huge zigzag. You could do the slow motion. But there's going to be some rules. You're not allowed to go backwards. Like you're not allowed to like move forward and then go backwards. You're not allowed to stop. You always have to be moving forward, because then someone could just run.
Yeah.
And just stop at the finish line.
I remember there was a.
People can have water balloons.
Oh.
So that you want to move faster to avoid water balloons.
That's clever.
And also, there'll be a bit in the race where you can push people over.
Wait, so
like audience members, not the race members. People.
I was going to say, so a klaxon goes and everyone
push
can
you
just
over.
push each other.
So there's a designated bit for violence.
No, just pushing. Pushing forward so that they're faster.
Okay. Oh, right.
Well, what about it would be?
I don't.
It would be safer if it was tickling.
Yeah, it's
fine, tickling, whatever. But I like the water balloons bit because you want to avoid water balloons.
I'd say it's a good idea in principle and in concept. Actually, apply the logistics of this on.
What's the logistics problem?
You first you need enough audience members for someone to have water balloons with which to
I would
chase.
buy the water balloons.
No, that's not my objection. My objection is having enough people, A, to race, B, to chase some.
No,
to
you
chase
don't.
Water balloons.
You don't need a lot of people to race.
And another section purely for pushing and tickling.
Okay, we can get rid of the pushing tickling bit. I think the water balloons are fine or something like that. You don't need like loads of people to race, surely. I'm not thinking you need like 50 people racing around the uni.
Are you thinking
just running really
just
slowly?
You racing, Jack, and chasing yourself with water balloons.
How are you going to get permission from the uni?
How would that not be okay with them?
Because
why would that not be?
You'll
okay?
be obstructing people more than anything, won't you?
Yeah, well, that's why I would ask them. I'd be like, "Is there a good day where I can do this?" And it's just a designated little route. And also, there's like no more than 3 hours. You have to finish in 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm not making it like 2 days.
They only did it once at my sports day when I was little, but they did a race for the parents where you had to do 2 laps of I think it might have been 1 lap or 2 laps of the running track, but you had to do it in a certain period of time. You had to be as close to say a minute 50.
Yeah.
And you couldn't stop. And you couldn't stop. You could walk you couldn't take the mick and just inch forward, but you had to be moving, but you had to get it within 1 minute 50 or something like that. That was quite interesting as a race goes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what.
You can have duos if you want. Like you can
make it a three-legged.
Three-legged. You can work together if you want.
I don't know how that would help, but
I double your time though.
What? What do you mean?
Two people.
So now you have 6 hours to finish the race.
No. Whatever time they finish, I'll double it.
I don't understand how.
I'm not actually doing that.
Oh
God.
Okay.
No, but the
Keep us.
The winner would be the slowest person.
Yes.
Then I joked the second place winner would be the first person to finish.
Second place is first place.
Yeah.
That might happen because I can only imagine two people who.
Isn't first place last place?
Yeah. Slowest person to finish.
So first place is last place, but second place is first. So the person who crosses the line first loses.
Think of it as like it'd be a great Olympic sport because you could think I could just run fast and go for the silver.
So what
I could be the slowest and get a gold.
So what you what you're saying?
It's a mind game more than anything.
What I'm getting from you here is that you're basically going to pick whoever comes in this position wins. You're going to have to guess what position to come in.
No. I wouldn't do that because everyone got really angry about that idea. So
the committee.
But no, would you take part in it? Just a slow race for charity.
No, wait. If it's for charity,
because the person that wins is not the person who crosses the line first or crosses the line last.
It's because it's a slow race.
No. The person who So you're saying the person who crosses the line last isn't
the
winner. It's
that was
the
a
person
joke.
who crosses the line second.
No.
Second person to cross the line wins.
No. That was a joke.
That was a joke. No, the very last person to cross the line is the winner because it's a slow race.
And it's 3
I
hours.
genuinely thought you were saying you're going to have a slow race where you just pick person who wasn't the slowest to win.
No, the objective is to be the slowest. That's why there's the water balloons because people don't want to get hit in the face with a water.
Surely
balloon.
the person who doesn't race wins then.
No, because you're forced to move.
You have to always move. You can't stop.
So it's almost a race in theatrics more than anything. Who can sort of move the least? But
good luck.
Yeah.
Would you not take
Keep
part in
us
that?
noted. No, I'll take part in it if you can get sort of a good sort of momentum going with it and more than a few people interested.
If you can get fit, do I have to pretend like I'm running or can I just move slowly?
No, you can just move slowly.
You can move slowly. You could crab walk. You could walk backwards if you want. I allow people to change how they walk if they get like.
I'd probably just stick to standard missionary walking.
You're not allowed to crawl.
Okay.
And you're not allowed to like lay there and say, the Earth's global gravitation is moving me forward.
So basically, no sweet talking.
Yeah. You actually have to be bipedal.
Fair enough. I will take part if you can get 15 people to race.
I already have 15 people to race.
No, you don't.
I do.
Name them now. First names.
Okay, fine. Alice.
Yep.
Oh.
Tashi. Tom. Lewis, Jay, Nida, Kirsty, a girl called Freya,
8,
Josh, another guy called Josh, another guy called Jack, a guy called Luke, and then
was there some called Matthew, Mark, and John as well?
No. Yeah, I made up the name Nida. God, there's another one. There's
another 3.
I know.
There's another 3 to go.
I know. Stop pressuring me, guys. No, there were 3 maybes.
Oh, that's not quite. That's not quite.
Yeah,
It's 12.
That's not 15. I said I
could get 15.
Go on then.
I'm sure you can.
Simon.
You'll see us. No, because I'm agreeing when you have 15.
No, you've changed your opinion then.
Yeah, because I agree with Tim.
Yeah, when you get.
Why are you so against helping charity?
I'm not against it.
Why are you so evil?
I'm not evil because I donate to charity. I don't have to humiliate myself.
It's not humiliation.
I don't have to humiliate myself to give.
I'd be taking part in it.
Then who's going to judge?
Yeah, who's going to be?
Oh, because you need someone to judge who's the last person across the line.
You are undermining the age-old profession of judging.
Touchline technology.
I have other friends who say they want to be part of the audience, but they don't want to race.
I'd say you need 15
I said if you
races.
could get 15 people racing.
No. Those would be the people who would judge.
Okay.
Because they would be the ones who, I would be like, okay, I remember a friend who said, if I paid you £10,000, if someone gave you £10,000 to the charity, would you do it naked? And I said, yeah. I would do it naked. Slow motion racing.
You would be arrested on site.
Yeah, but I would have £10,000 to charity.
You'd go to jail for £10,000 for charity.
It's not bad jail. It's not like serious jail. I wouldn't get like.
You can be put on the sex offenders register for urinating in public.
Fine.
That's bad jail.
I'm cool.
Fine.
I'm fine.
That's no jail.
Fine. I'll take a leaf.
That's not like that's there's a very funny article that we read, Simon.
Yeah, oh dear.
And we're not going to talk about it
because it's a bit rude.
If you go on Afternoon Delight's Facebook page, we will post the article there.
Yeah.
But one of the criminal charges to this man was criminal mischief. That's a
genuine.
That's not a no crime. Being on the sex offenders register is a no crime, Jack. And what would happen then if you couldn't get a job and therefore couldn't raise more money for charity? Surely you'd be better not doing the no and therefore becoming successful like Bill Gates and then using your power and influence and wealth to do good.
Yeah, but that's not going to happen. The Bill Gates thing.
because I'm going to run naked and be on the no list.
Well, so no, because I'm going into archaeology, and archaeologists don't make a lot of money.
Oh.
They make
the smallest violin.
It's all right. Me and Simon are writers. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not comparing my job to yours. I'm just saying archaeologists don't make a lot of money. We don't get money.
Let's end it here because.
Look, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
okay, if I get 15
we've heard
people,
you out. We've heard you out.
You will do it.
Gentleman's bet. If you can get 15 more people to race.
15 more people.
Oh, we shook.
No. I have recording of you saying 15 people.
Three more people.
You also have a recording of me saying 15 more people
but
as well.
Okay,
yeah, 15 people and I'll race.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now on this show, I believe it's called Afternoon Delight. 3 more people to do the slow race. Yeah. Then I and Tim will join in. It's 3 hours of our lives for charity.
Yeah, maximum of 3 hours. You could just run it and that's it.
Yeah,
if you want, and then go home.
But we will take part in the race if you can get 3 more people. If anyone wants to take part in the race, tweet in.
Go to
our Facebook page.
Supporting Jack.
You shouldn't support an eccentric.
You are supporting what in technical law terms is a no.
Delusions
However,
of grandeur.
What is the charity?
I would like to really put that forward. If people are racing, I would let them choose like what they think they would want to. Someone made a horrible joke about like people with arthritis in their legs, and I don't want to do that because that's like really mean.
Yeah, that is
horrible.
Whoever said that
is a bit mean.
Whoever said that, first of all, Nerve and Afternoon Delight and Student Union don't condone that sort of humour.
I don't think they would accept the money.
No,
they wouldn't accept
not
the
really
money.
humorous.
I goes like, hey, we did a slow race for your charity, and they're like, no, we're not accepting your money. You're evil for doing that. So,
however,
I would prefer if people wanted to like put their
there's a trust fund for a young boy I know from
around
where I live.
Oh God, I've heard this story.
The Tim Vivian Short Trust Fund, a wonderful cause which provides a young
strapping lad who's been through a lot. He really has. He's called Jimmy.
But I would say Water Aid. Or the RNLI, or dairy farmers because they make a loss on the milk they sell, which makes me wonder why they're dairy farmers because you don't make any money. But one of those 3, or the RSPCA. I don't know because they're all good causes. That's the problem with a charity.
How do you choose a charity when they're all good things?
The thing is that humans should be put before pets. But I really like pets. I really like dogs. And for the most part, I think this isn't a bestiality thing. I genuinely think a dog is a happier, cuter thing. A puppy
and more loyal.
A puppy is one of the cutest things, and I want to help puppies.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Okay, well, you sit on that. 2 weeks from now, you will have more answers and more decisions, and maybe you'll have 2 new races.
I will have 1 billion more races.
1 billion? You're going to get a seventh of the population?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to phone up China.
This gentleman's bet has escalated.
Okay. And another thing, that went on longer than it should have.
5 more, at least.
Good.
I'll have 20.
Okay, 20.
I'll have 20.
The
If I don't
deal's
have-
adjusted. If you don't have 20, we're not doing it.
No, you already made a bet
I
for
said
15.
Okay, well,
Moving
15.
on from this bet
Yeah.
that's gone on for too long.
Okay. Jack, I don't know if this is going to last equally as long as the last strand
It
of
won't.
conversation, but you also wanted to talk about a debate you're doing.
Oh no, this is really just like a promotion.
Okay.
2 weeks from now, Lee's Lecture Theatre, there's going to be a debate with the Christian Union, Atheist and Humanist Society, and I believe the Islam Society also, probably on a multitude of questions. If anyone has ideas of what questions they would like,
Tweeting?
tell us, tweet in, or tell any of those 3 societies. And
I had a question I was meaning to ask you off about this. Is that having watched the debates where from very different universities, you almost kind of get different tones in how the debates go. I've often because you've done a few of these before, and I know that we've talked about the controversy that have come as a result of some of these debates.
that surrounds me
Yes.
as a person.
Yep. Is the tone like, because you see some and they're very much, it's almost like it's a discussion, like you'll see various different people's beliefs and faiths just talking around discussing faith and belief and non-belief, or you have other types of debates where I'm right, you're wrong. Which does this kind of tend to lead to? Is it a more kind of heated kind of...
Matters on the people.
Yeah.
Really. If
Is it a rant-a-palooza? Is that what
no,
you have on
you try not to. I mean, I try not to because I can go on rants, as you know, like huge ones. But when I'm in that situation, I try and be respectful.
Good.
The controversy comes when there's someone who won't let something go, and then I get angry, and then I go on a rant. And
well, we all have
I try and be
the
polite.
kinks in our armour.
So-
Tim, before we run out of time, we've only got an hour and 10 minutes left.
Okay.
You had a story.
Yes. How long have we got before the next song's on?
We're going to tell this story. Keep it short and sweet. We'll sort of talk about it after the songs.
Right. Okay. We'll talk about it after the songs. Okay. Last night, I didn't get a great deal of sleep because it was my friend Todd's birthday, and he goes to university in Lincoln, and a lot of my friends who go to uni in Sheffield and York and Newcastle, they all went down.
Are you sure you're allowed to use names?
I'm just saying, they won't mind me saying names. I'm only saying
Okay.
names so that you can differentiate. You'll see
Yeah,
why.
okay.
Because there is a series of boys, and rather than just called boy 1, boy 2. So
Yeah, cool.
went to visit my friend Todd for his birthday, and then one of just as I was about to go to bed, one of the visiting friends' sister messaged me saying, "Please, can you give me the numbers of Todd and the other people that were there? I don't know where my brother is." I was like, "Well, what do you mean?" She was just like, I don't know where he is. Could you please just give me the numbers for them?" And what had transpired is that basically it was almost like it was a situation from The Hangover. What had happened is that whilst it was in a whiteout blizzard, like snow's bucketing it down a bit further north, not that anybody would know here, you southern softies, that my friend had disappeared. One of my friends had, I think, been knocked out and concussed by running into a bay window. So he was out of the count. But my other friend drank so much, went missing for a couple of hours, and was found 10 miles out of Lincoln City Centre at inside an RAF base. on a main road, like going into an RAF base. And they basically... basically what I was trying to do was trying to relay information to both parties, because both parties were quite confused as to where their brother and their friend was, because the police were ringing at various different people. But what had transpired is that he'd managed to get 10 miles in a blizzard to an RAF base.
How?
Nobody knows. He doesn't remember. And nobody remembers him disappearing, but nobody knows how he got there. It was literally a call of just, "Hi, we're from RAF Breeze, and also we've got your friend Sam here." Okay, how did that happen? But yes, somehow he managed to get...
Wow.
Possibly tried to steal a Harrier jet. We don't know. But yeah, he just... it was quite... So I didn't get a lot of sleep because that was kind of transpiring live via various different messages from various different people. But it was a very, very odd situation.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And we'll talk about it when we get back.
Yeah,
yes,
on
that's
that
the situation.
On that note, we're going to be playing Numb by Usher. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
This This is Nerve.
This is Afternoon Delight, the comedy chat show. And I'm Simon Schneider, that's Tim Vivian Shaw, and that was Jack Martin, who was fiddling with the desk. You just listened to, what was it? Get Up, in brackets, Rattles, by...
Bingo.
Bingo Players in the Far East Movement. And before that was...
By Gala Bingo.
By Gala Bingo, yep. Before that was Dead Now by Frightened Rabbit.
That song sounded like a load of drunk bees to me.
It did.
Well, guys, a fun fact is that bees like getting drunk. And
Guys!
An approximate 10% of them get drunk and then get killed by the bodyguard bees.
The
'Cause they
Bodyguard
get
Bees.
addicted.
Why
Oh, that's a good name for a band, the Bodyguard Bees.
Yeah.
That sounds like the Poddington Peas.
Who are the
Down
Bodyguard
at the
Bees?
bottom of the garden, amongst the birds and the bees.
Yep.
The little lot of
was
little
your-
people. They're called the...
Parlington Bees.
The
Yeah.
What was your question?
We were talking about drunk bees. We were going to talk about...
You were going to say something.
I was going to ask you about them being alcoholic bees. I was just going to ask you to elaborate on that.
Yeah.
Well,
you just
like,
said there
why bees
are
like-
alcoholic bees and they get killed.
Oh, yeah, well, bees like drinking just as much as humans do, apparently. I don't know. And 10% get addicted to the alcohol they drink, the same amount as humans get addicted to alcohol. And then when they try and enter the beehive, because they're drunk...
The bouncers don't let them in.
Yeah, well, they say, like, no, you can't go and sober
You've had too
up.
much, mate. Go on.
Sober up.
Yeah.
And then after a few tries, they just kill them.
Oh,
You're buzzing all over the place, mate. Come
They just
on.
kill the bee. If
It's just a
like-
family
that's
establishment.
at least we're a little better than that. At least
Yeah.
we don't like...
I don't know, have you met
Okay,
some bouncers?
It's not let me in. Give me your jacket and then it's not going to notice me. It's not going to see me. Oh, he's stabbing me. He's stabbing me with his butt knife. Yeah, carry on. We were talking about
Your friend,
my friend,
the mystery 10-mile man.
My friend.
Do you
who-
think he wants to do the slow race?
No,
He
because-
wouldn't win because
no,
apparently he's like
he wouldn't
the
cross the-
quickest. He's like the Flash.
Yeah, but
He can do
because
10 miles
on
in
a
like
night
2
out,
hours.
he wandered off and somehow in the snow managed to get 10 miles away from the rest of them, out of the city centre, to an RAF base, to what I can only assume was the purpose of stealing a plane.
Yeah.
For stealing a Harrier jet for his own ends. I don't know what.
It gets off on it. Literally.
Do you know what? I've not done? I'm feeling pretty good. Do you know what I need to do? I need to steal a plane.
Yeah, he had a couple
I need to-
bevies. He had a couple bevies. He's a top uni lad. And he's like,
Uni!
wait. Oi, lads, you know what I've not done? I've only not driven a plane. Come on, RAF, let's go. And, 10-mile walk.
Maybe he wasn't trying to steal it. Maybe he was just asking for the plane.
Oh, yeah,
and
but
that's
yeah.
why they phoned.
Yeah, he's
because
not-
they were like, "Oh, wait a minute, why is he?"
He's not a bad guy. Well, yeah, we've got a guy that wants to fly a plane, and we're normally pretty we're pretty fine with that, but
Yeah.
we think he might be a bit drunk. Why?
Well,
He's
we don't actually have a breathalyzer here.
He's sticking his head in the jet engine. If it was on, he'd be dead.
But it's not on.
I'm gonna fly this.
Is this the entrance?
He's trying to crawl in the exhaust of the jet engine, the jet plane. Bless it. No, but we were talking in the break as well. Jack and I have both flown planes.
Yeah.
I've not.
What a loser, Simon.
Yeah.
is.
Jack, how old were you when you flew your first plane?
I must have been around 10.
I think I was 10 or 11 as well.
Yeah. It seems like a normal thing for 10-year-olds to
Yeah.
fly planes.
Turns
Simon.
out.
We both had very interesting conversations with the people that took us up in the planes. I'll go first because I think Jack's is slightly funnier. Well, basically what happened was that the guy that took us up, one of my friend's dad was in the RAF, and then he flew for like airlines and stuff, and he owned a little Cessna plane, and he was like, "Oh, we'll fly to this museum, this air museum in Wales, but you can fly it there." So I flew it there, and my friend flew it back. He took us up. He did the taking off and the landing part, which Simon assumed that we did as 10-year-olds, Jack and I.
You said to me, these were your words. Oh yeah, I've flown a plane.
Yeah.
For someone completely unaware, with no context, that is literally I've flown a plane.
Yeah, well, I have flown a plane. Like, it's been in the sky, and I've controlled where it went. But yeah, so he did the taking off, and then he gave me the controls. And about 5 minutes in, I was terrified. I was terrified anyway because
You're in a plane. You're in a moving tin can in the sky.
I hadn't been riding a bicycle long, and then here you go. You can go on a swing, can't you? Oh, you're qualified to fly a plane then.
I saw you outside. You were going quite fast on that bike. You didn't even have those little wheel things you stick on the end. Come on, it's plane time.
You're pretty mean on a scooter. Get in my plane. But yeah, so we were up there, and I was holding it as still as possible, and he just leant over to me and he just went, okay, should things go wrong, and I'm not saying they will, but should they go wrong and we start to go into a dive, just to be safe, I will break both your arms so I can regain control of the aircraft. I felt, even as a 10-year-old who's not a responsible adult, I'll admit, that I was perfectly fine with just letting go of the controls. Yeah. I was perfectly okay with that. I was perfectly okay if I'd messed up.
If you're so possessive of your plane, you have it then.
Yeah. That he would, but I was thought, do you know what? If I don't understand, but I know when I'm flying towards the ground, and I'm pretty okay with just letting go. You don't have to break my arms. No, I definitely have to break both your arms.
Part of the procedure.
Boy. I definitely have to.
This
Tim,
is what I was taught.
We're now at the cafe at the museum.
Yeah.
Should you start to wobble with the tray, I will just have to break both your arms in order to gain control of
exactly
the teapot.
There are 3 rules in RAF piloting. 1, keep it in the sky. 2, when it lands, make sure it doesn't land upside down. 3, 10-year-old kid gets your wheel, break his arms.
Break.
It does sound like he's not regaining control of the plane. He's just going over and it's like, God, why have you ruined everything? He just breaks your arm.
Well, he motioned to Kung Fu chop.
Yeah.
So essentially he would just swing one arm and snap both.
It's like revenge.
Yeah. And I'm I don't remember it that well, but he could have had his own joystick or something. There were 2 seats. He had a seat next to me.
No, I don't think it works like cars, where if you're sort of learning how to drive, there's also another set of pedals.
No, they have planes like that.
Really?
Yeah. They have planes with 2 joy. That's for trainee pilots.
Why don't they just break their arms?
Why didn't I get one of those? Why didn't we go in one of those planes?
I had one of those.
Did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Joe, why don't you tell us what your dad told you?
Well,
should you go into a dive? Because I faced the prospect of having my arms broken.
Well, my dad wasn't a professional pilot. He just learned it as a hobby for years. So I could understand where he was coming from. It wasn't good to tell your own son, but he said if we go in a dive, we're gonna die. That's what he said. We're going to die. And I'm like, why didn't you tell me this before we went off in a plane?
Now, Jack,
son,
should we be up in the air and things start to go wrong, we are going to die. Have fun,
son. Now we're in the air. It's quite nice, isn't it? Look, there's a cloud over there. I just needed to tell. I'm actually only 2 lessons ahead of you.
I don't know what any of this stuff does. It's a miracle I even got it off the ground.
What do you think that button does, son?
It's just so... Why? Why tell your 10-year-old son that if you mess up, we both die?
Yeah.
Not just me.
Not only will you be dead,
I will
but
kill
I'll
my
be
father.
disappointed in you, son.
From the grave.
It's also another bit because he says oh look at that thing on the side, so I did, and then he's like no don't not look at the front. I'm like why did you say look at the clouds on the side?
Don't look anywhere other than where you're not looking right now, but don't look at it.
Come on, that's lesson 1.
Duh brain.
You don't tell a 10-year-old look at that, and then you go no don't look at that. It's like why do you do that? My dad also let me drive a car for a while.
Was this before or after
Was this right after the plane?
After the plane. He let me drive
You
his car for a while.
landed the plane safely.
Right, get in the car. Get in the Lamborghini now.
You landed the plane
I'm training
safely.
you as James Bond. God.
You landed the plane safely. 1 wing was missing. and then your dad said, "Oh God, that's such a hectic journey. I'm so tired. Jack, drive me home."
Let's get in this car with 3 wheels.
Let's get in the tank.
No. Let's go home. And he sits in the passenger seat, just like, come on.
They're flying. It's just like, I've not learned how to land this, but now we're going to learn how to operate a parachute. Out we go.
I didn't know how
Aim
to
for the submarine that you're
going to
drive
ride
home.
a bike. I didn't know how to ride a bike.
Yeah,
at that age.
Yeah,
that is a good story though to tell.
To fly a plane and then drive a
car.
The
first vehicle I drove was a plane.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
That's pretty
That's
cool,
a cool story to tell at like primary school. Oh yeah, I just learnt to ride my bike. Oh yeah, well I've got a scooter. I was on a plane.
Yeah,
One wing.
My granddad used to ring me at 6 o'clock, which was very annoying because The Simpsons was always on at 6 o'clock. Everyone knows this, bar your granddad, and it's like, and of course I love talking to my granddad. Like I loved he was one of my favourite people, but at the same time, if Simpsons is on, come on, granddad. So it'd often be a case of, look, I'm going to give you to mum, and we'll talk in half an hour, all right? He's like, yeah, fine. But he was like, yeah, what'd you do today? I was like, yeah, I flew a plane to Wales. And he was from the West Country, and he didn't like Welsh people very much at all. So first of all, he thought I was fibbing, but he didn't like the fib because I'd gone to Wales in the fib. But then Mum had to explain that I actually did fly a plane to Wales, and even then he wasn't very happy that I'd gone to Wales.
Yeah.
He disliked Wales so much that when we went on holiday while my mum was 8 months pregnant, he said that he had a number of a taxi driver that was willing to drive to where we were and drive her back across the English border should my mum go into labour, so my sister was not born in Wales and therefore would be Welsh in his eyes.
Fair enough. Okay. Now we've flown through RAF. I have a little story of my own. Now, it's little is the operative word. Now, I often bring to this show social conundrums that I don't quite understand. Maybe I'm socially awkward, maybe it's other people making social mistakes, but regardless, I want these situations rectified. The other day, I went into an elevator in Weymouth House, so for those of you that don't go to Bournemouth Uni, building with 4 floors, got into the elevator, pressed floor 2, a woman was in there, she saw what I pressed, and she said to me, "It's only 2 floors, why don't you walk?" Is that she was essentially saying, "Get out the lift, fatty."
Yeah.
Is that socially acceptable?
Well, it's not socially
Where was
acceptable. It's
she
not
going?
nice.
Was she going to the first floor?
I don't know. I was above that. I was not going to rate where she was going.
To be fair, it's a fair walk to get to the second floor.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not.
That's why I took the lift.
You walked the Weymouth House steps.
I have.
Yeah, they're not easy. They're probably
Yeah,
some
they're big steps, I guess.
yeah.
But that doesn't even matter.
lecture
It's the
on
fact I've
Weymouth
got
House.
free will to use an elevator at my disposal.
It's going up anyway.
Yeah.
It's like if she's a floor below you, then she has no justification whatsoever. But if she's a floor above you, the lift's not go. It's only stopping on the way, isn't it? It's not.
I don't want to disappoint the elevator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the lift, it's like, well, it's no trouble at all. I'm going that way anyway. Hop in. Like, I'll take you there. It's no skin
Exactly.
on my nose. I'll just drop you off on the way.
Come in the magic elevator.
Yeah.
Come on.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba.
It was a bit rude of her to say that.
Yeah.
Like, why?
Well, if you're listening, lady,
well,
I wouldn't use such phrases in the future.
the only way you can redeem yourself is taking part in the slow race.
Apparently, I'd be good at it because I'm so fat.
Slow race.
Okay, and also, I heard that you've also got a story about pizzas, Jack, and after that we shall be playing Zach's game, or in this case, Tim's game.
Well, it will be Zach's game, but I will be conducting the
Yes.
chaos.
It's my housemate who's the pain of my life. He's the housemate who broke our fridge on the first day of moving in. I wasn't there, but he broke the fridge.
Smooth.
Somehow. He short-fused a fridge. How do you short-fuse a fridge?
Do you mean short? What?
The fuse went.
But what did? How did
He just plugged it in. And he short-fused the fridge.
What a dumb
Why
one.
is that his fault?
Because there's no other, because nothing else short-fused in that plug. And the fridge was perfectly normal day before with the house piece.
Was he like going? Did he have the central heating on full and going, God, this is a bit
You know what?
hot. I'll just open the fridge
You know
and the
what?
freezer, and that will cool down the
I
rest
know
of
what.
the
No, we figured out what it was. He somehow managed to get water in the plug.
in the plug.
Yeah,
Oh,
in the fridge plug. He managed to get water in it.
Oh, well, just to help you coax the electricity out of the mains into the fridge, I'll dip this in a bucket of water, because I know electricity likes water.
I don't know how you
Jam
did it.
that in.
He says, I don't use any water. It's like, well, obviously, there must have been some water somewhere.
No. Someone set him up.
But he's also...
This goes all the way to the top, man.
He's also my friend who... his pizzas explode in the oven.
How do you explode a pizza?
This boy has the worst superpowers in the world.
Yeah.
I have
did
the
it-
power to put water in plugs
In the
and make pizzas, put pizzas in pieces while they're in an oven.
See, in the first week, it happened, and we just assumed, oh, bad luck. just bad luck. And then it happened again just before Christmas. And I thought, by explode, he must mean just like it like the cheese goes a bit weird or something. It can't mean an actual explosion. And then I was there to witness an actual explosion because we were just talking in the kitchen. I saw him put the pizza in, and then like 5 minutes in, just a
Was it really?
it's just a huge explosion. And I opened it, and it's just cheese everywhere.
You must have made him clean up the oven.
No, he had to go.
Does
He had to go to a thing.
Does he sprinkle his pizza with nitroglycerin
I
instead
saw-
of Parmesan
he just took
cheese
it
or
out.
something?
He's also the friend who he fills the whole freezer with 1 pound pizzas from Asda, and he has to take them out the cardboard boxing because there's so many pizzas.
To be fair, they're a good deal.
They're a good deal, yeah.
They're a
but
good deal.
I've got nothing against a
You
man
should
that
cut
eats
his
ready
costs.
meals, but a man that destroys ready meals for his own sick fantasy.
I don't know how he does it. I saw him. He just put it in, and it exploded.
I remember one time the only time I've ever seen really anything explode is what we, you know that my friend who was found at the RAF base.
Yeah.
Well, the guy whose birthday it was, who he was visiting, we were around his house for a house party,
Yeah.
and his microwave was there. It was 4 a.m. My friend had a litre block of cheese and 2 pots of salsa and an entire tub of salt. And one of my other friends, she'd left her car keys on the side of the counter. We put them all in the microwave.
Sometimes curiosity gets the best of you.
And then like his parents had gone away to South Africa, and then like 2 days later, just popped up on like a little group we have for Facebook to organise like going places. He was like, I don't know which one of you it was that put the cheese in the microwave, but I found it. And you will clean it up. And I never did.
I hope he listens to this.
It was a friend of mine as well, but he's not going to be listening to this.
But
It's the day after his birthday. Happy birthday, by the way, Todd.
You also did something cheeky that you had to face the consequences of yesterday.
Oh yes, one of my other little misdemeanors. Basically, we're at another friend's Halloween party. A friend of ours who's on our course, he had a Halloween party this Halloween.
This Halloween,
yeah, this Christmas. He had a Halloween party this Easter. He's a mad one. There was he invited some of his friends down from home, and we were sat in the living room for the majority of the night. It was quite weird. Wherever we seemed to go, the rest of the party seemed to go somewhere else.
Yeah.
So it was our turn to sit in the living room on our own and we were there for a good 3 or 4 hours as the party was winding down. And we'd been in and out of the living room, and several people pointed out to me.
Whenever you tell this, I'll let you finish, but I'm going to tell you about how you tell this story. But finish.
Okay, fine. But I think you're going to pull up a piece of my logic, but that's not fair. Several people pointed out to me that this vodka had not been touched, and I'd noticed it as well. I was like, there was half a bottle of vanilla vodka, Smirnoff vanilla vodka, which is quite expensive, sat in the middle on the top of the fireplace, and it hadn't been touched for the entirety of the night. And someone went to me, well, they clearly don't want it. So I took it. Yes, I stole.
Yeah.
I broke one of the commandments, but I stole something that I did not feel was loved or wanted. It was like taking a child whose parents had gone off to Tahiti or something.
Because those are very similar situations. So
and taking it to an orphanage. I'm not saying take it and keep it at my house. I'm saying I would take it and give it to the NSPCC. I was giving...
Finding a child that doesn't look like it's got any parents and deciding
it wants to live with me.
Yeah.
No, I took the vodka and gave it to a loving home is what I did. And you know, and the person's friend was the person who ended up drinking it, not me. I didn't drink the vodka. I just took it to a place where it would be wanted and would get use.
Yeah.
But yes, that was another one. And last night, his friends were back down, and Marcus, being the greatest, he went, Tim, you stole some vodka off this man. And I was like, yay, I only took £5 out. Looks like I'm going to be spending it on you as an apology. What do you want to drink? And he went, oh, I'll have a vodka and coke. And I went, well, 4 shots to Sambuca then, please. Enjoy those. I shall see you later. We had a nice conversation about the war, and that's all over and done with.
Good.
But there was a kind of a little craze as like, after I stole, I'm not proud of it. I am a bit proud of it, because like, it was cool. It wasn't cool. It was really tasty vodka. I've never had vodka that was tasty before, but it's normally just that basic stuff from a supermarket. But like, my girlfriend who was with me was like in a craze. She was so like, yeah, you got to take it. And then as soon as I was taking it and was on the way out, she was like, man, look at them shoes. Tim, we should take those shoes. Like, we're not taking somebody's shoes. And she was like, I bet they fit you. They weren't even for her. She was just like, I bet you could have them. And then she looked at some other shoes and she was like, I bet I could fit into those. And they were clearly too small for her. She was like, I bet I could squeeze into them. Look, please don't take those shoes. No, I'm going to. I think I should. No, look, we're going to take one thing, all right? And I knew
we can come back later.
And I knew she wouldn't not take the vodka. So she was like, all right, fine, we'll just take the vodka. But in my defence, I left our mop pole there.
Oh,
I took the mop
fair
pole.
trade.
Yeah, so they got a mop pole out of it.
It was fancy dress, and you dressed up as like a shaman with a mop pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. We haven't been able to mop as easily since then.
No, we had to just hold on to the mop.
Yeah.
And use our hands like a sponge.
But what I noticed about that story, and this isn't me picking at it or having a go at you, it starts with, people were just saying to me, Tim, that vodka's there. That's not how it happened. You might have talked with them about it, but they didn't go up to you or interrupt the conversation and say, Tim, you've noticed that vodka, haven't you?
And then blaring, just like a shining light comes down. It's like, Tim, look at that.
Tim,
I've
I've always felt you don't steal enough.
Tim, you're such a good man. Maybe you should steal something.
I was sitting on the couch, and that's when Jesus Christ embodied himself, and he said, that vodka there needs to be drunk by me. Who am I to question?
No, but people, yeah, fair enough. All right, people didn't come up to me and go, Tim, you don't steal enough. Tim, I've noticed something you could steal if you ever thought about going into stealing. I know you want to be a writer, but have you thought about going into stealing stuff? No, it wasn't that, but people had noticed as well as I had, and it was a talking point that we got onto.
Yeah, and I remember because I talked about it, I said, well, is no one going to drink that vodka? Can we ask them if we can have it?
It had sat there for ages, and rather than ask and them go, no, you can't have it, and then them not drink it anyway, we went, well, it will go to a loving home, and we did the right thing, which was
You're
the
saying
wrong
we
thing.
now?
We as it's kind of like a we that the Queen uses.
Okay,
we as the nation of Tim.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The Tim's people did what we needed to do, and that was give that vodka a loving home.
And on that note, he's paid it back, so it was nothing naughty.
No, it was naughty.
It was definitely naughty.
And I'm glad I did it. And Afternoon Delight fully endorses
Wait, what?
thieving.
Well,
I'm only doing that just to watch Simon squirm behind the
hopefully that
microphone.
doesn't come back to bite us.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
No, don't steal. Love one another. Be nice to everybody.
You know what you definitely shouldn't steal?
Actually, here's the moral of the story.
Yep.
I really like Colditz, and that's an aspect of the war. Basically it was a super prison to house the best escapers of the war.
Yep.
So they put them all in this castle, and it was meant to be impossible to escape from. The person I stole that vodka from also really loved the war, and I had a great conversation about the war and potentially made a new friend. So if I hadn't stolen, I've done something for friendship.
So the morality, see the silver lining, and also don't steal. And on the topic of stealing,
what I'm saying is, if you want to
caught.
make friends,
and also don't steal. And on the topic of stealing, don't steal music, cause you can listen to it here. Listen to The Clown or Just Clown by Emily Sandé. Yeah, sounds good. All right, see ya.
I guess it's funnier from where you're standing.
This is Nerve, Bournemouth University Student Radio.
And this is Afternoon Delight, the comedy radio chat show.
hello.
Okay, so we just played For Your Ears Only, Just One Last Time by David Guetta, and 1957 by Milo Green. Okay.
Milo Grin.
Milo Grin.
Yeah.
It's Milo Grin.
Something by Malogrin.
Yep. Okay, so, as we promised, we're going to play Zach's Game.
Yes, we're going to conclude with Zach's Game, where we're going to take essentially around 15 minutes, where basically the aim of the Zach's Game is to...
Tell me, what's the name of Zach's Game?
The name of Zach's Game is Zach's Game.
Good.
I'm going to ask you two questions, and you both have to answer, not correctly, but as wrongly as possible, with the most creative justification.
Mm-hmm.
And the person I deem to be the most wrong, with the best justification, will win points. Well, you'll win points based on your Yep, and I'm going to ask you 2 questions, and there will be a winner at the end, and that will be great, and they'll win one of my crisps that I've just run and bought.
Ooh, Ooh, stakes are high.
Yeah.
Funny, because it's steak flavoured.
Sizzling prawn, Simon, so...
Okay.
-1.
Mine, yeah. Simon has already got +1 because he got the flavour
Yeah.
of the crisp wrong. Well done, Simon, you're doing fantastic.
Good.
For the first question, Simon will be going first.
Yep.
And once again, I want you to answer. And if tweet in if you have any ideas for
or your
Simon,
own
wrong
answers.
Simon can't go on the Twitter page.
I can't. I can't because I put up Facebook accidentally. But tweet in anyway. We'll
Okay,
see 'em.
So the first question will be, why do bees make honey? Simon, you're going first. You have to give me a wrong answer with the best justification. You have a minute or so to give me an answer.
Okay. My answer is marital problems.
Okay. Okay, bees make honey because of marital problems.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, so, as you're aware, in a hive, it works as a community. And in a community, you need some sort of army or some sort of policing force. And, unfortunately, the way that the patriarchal bee society is, it's always the male bees. And the male bees float out and they go and do their wars with hornets or something, you know, whatever threat there is for the current bee society, and they might get very drunk along the way, stupidly drunk, and they're not allowed back in the beehive, those rowdy soldier bees, because they're so drunk. And then, because they can't get back to get their bee paychecks to pay for their bee families, the bee women at home, like in the war, have to do their own work, and they make honey for... you know, with little pots of honey for bees, and they, you know, and people eat honey, but people are bees. And, basically, the marital problems is the issue, because when they're finally let back in the hive, if they haven't been killed, lady bee's like, where have you been, man bee? And man bee's like, I just went for a pint of bee beer with my mates. And she's like, that's not good enough. I've been here making honey for me and your children to get by.
Well done, Simon.
Thank you.
Thoughts on that? That in a beehive there's only one woman, and it is if anything, it's a matriarchal society because she's a queen.
Yeah.
So so she's, I assume, a serial adulterer.
Yes.
Which would be just reason to have marital problems. I don't see. You kind of adopted a make, do and mend kind of Second World War kind of.
Yes.
Yeah.
Men are out fighting for us.
Fighting for bee freedom.
Yep.
But I didn't really feel that you justified why the women would make honey because the men are at war. So I'm going to give you, Simon, 5 points.
Okay, cool.
For your first question. Jack, now you've had some time to think.
Yeah, hello.
I'm going to ask you the question to answer as wrongly as possible with the best possible justification. Why do bees make honey?
Bees use them as Nickelodeon sludge.
Ooh.
You know Nickelodeon sludge, the green stuff that they would drop on people?
At the awards, yes.
Yeah. That one of the main ingredients of honey is honey in Nickelodeon sludge, and bees specifically make it for Nickelodeon sludge. And also, that same Nickelodeon sludge, the green stuff is from dead bears, which is also, bears are killed by honey, because everyone knows honey is it's Winnie the Pooh and such, the honey.
Yogi.
They deliberately make honey dangerous to eat, and if you eat too much that you die, because bears are evil, and they use the bears in Nickelodeon sludge also.
Short and succinct and very bizarre.
Quite bizarre.
I liked it. One thing that did strike me is that once again I didn't get a feel of the emotional drive as to why the bees wanted to make. You have time to give me 5 seconds to tell me why they want to make slime for Nickelodeon. Other than they provide great entertainment, of course.
Nickelodeon owns the beehives, so they protect them.
A twist I did not see coming there. I'm going to say it was slightly better than Simon's answer. I'm going to give you 6 points, Jack. Well done.
Ooh, neck and neck. Neck.
Everything's to play for. Almost like we kind of engineered it to be so.
Right. Okay. So, do you
now-
want to ask one more question?
Yes, and now for this one, Jack will be going first.
Mm.
This
Whoa.
one's more a kind of scientific question. We had an emotional question. What is the motive of a bee? We wanted to get into the character, in essence, of alcoholic worker bees. Now we're going for more of a scientific question. Jack, I'm asking you to answer as wrongly as possible with the best possible justification. How does a plane fly?
How does a plane fly?
Yes. How? How does it get up in the air and move around in the sky?
Okay, fine. How a plane flies is there's one atom whizzing around it that is made from the jets. The jets only propel this one atom, it moves it forward, and at such speed that actually generates it to go forward into the sky.
So there's an atom that spins
One atom.
that spins around.
Yeah. Because as you know, atoms can generate a force that can bring it above ground. Hence why atoms can combine and such.
I did not know that. Simon, do you know that and are willing to
Forces.
verify this?
It's the use of forces and like different kinds of forces, but atoms can do that. There's a theory in physics that there's not actually multiple atoms. There's only one atom that moves really fast.
And so, but surely then the atom that all the planes are using to keep them aloft is the same atom with which makes up the plane. And
Well,
the
no,
people
I
in
didn't
it.
say I used that theory. I just said that's one of the theories. My theory is that, that's the atom. There's an atom that moves around the plane that is generated from the propulsion.
For good sportsmanship, I'll say that I can't prove that's wrong.
Okay, yeah, well, there we go. Jack Martin Jones. I don't know how you feel about that one, but I felt that was a very scientific answer. A scientific answer to a scientific question.
Ooh.
And maybe in some senses, we were asking for something wrong.
I said
although-
I would say it's more pseudoscience.
I
Yeah,
don't
it's
think you should be asking me what I feel about his answer as his competitor.
Yeah,
It was-
I feel that you could have gone. Although I liked how you stuck to a scientific kind of. You stuck in the scientific vein. I think you could have been more wrong, but your justification was founded in correctness, and I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Well, it's like saying,
Despite
like
having
how,
criticised Simon for his lack of biological understanding as to how bees worked, your understanding of physics is going to be your undoing because it's the whim of a tyrant now, and I'm going to award you, Jack, with 5.5 points.
All right.
Oh, it's getting close now.
So, Jack, you sit on 11.5 points. Simon, you need 6.5 points to
win.
tie.
To tie, actually, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You need 7 points to win. So you're going to have to be good with this one. Simon, I want you to answer as incorrectly as possible with the best possible justification. How does a plane fly?
Slow races.
Elaborate for me.
Well, you two have both flown planes, so
We have,
you
yes.
can vouch for me here. Underneath the sort of bottom of the plane where you put your feet, it's a tiny treadmill. Yeah, you remember that, don't you? Tiny treadmill. And and as everyone knows, much like a car, it needs momentum to get off the ground and get in the air and go wherever it's going.
Yeah.
And to get that momentum, you need to do a tiny bit of a slow walk. You can't go too fast, otherwise the runways aren't long enough. You'll fly straight into the wall. It's not going to work. And you can't go too slow, otherwise it won't lift up in the air. So you've got to do a tiny little slow walk. And that's why when you were in that plane, he didn't say, I'll break your legs, I'll break your arms. Because if you broke your legs, you'd stop in mid-air and flop.
Okay, is that
That's
I'm
my
assuming
answer.
That's the end of that.
right? Well, for the way that with which I criticised Jack for having too much scientific understanding, and I criticised you before for not having enough scientific understanding, I'm going to go back to that.
Yeah.
How does the treadmill work when you're no longer touching the ground?
Because you are fueling the engine. The motion is making the fuel, which is in the thing, go to the engine.
I was picturing more of a Flintstones car
Yeah.
kind of thing where that basically you just pedalled and then it.
I have a point.
That's how it was in the prehistoric ages.
His point was
Jack-
slow race,
Yeah.
but then he made a point of you can't go too fast or go too slow. But
So
the
it was-
point of slow race is being the slowest possible.
I say slow
and
walking?
actually, Simon,
You said slow
I
race.
picked up on something. I picked up on something, and it's made me really rather mad. You said race. That would never came up again in your justification. Where was the plane racing? What was it racing? You could have just said slow, but you said race, and now you're backed into a corner. And if you can't get out of this corner, there is not a chance you will win this competition. It's
Some
coming
would
down to the
argue-
wire.
Some would argue that life is a metaphorical race.
I would have said something like time, like it's racing time. Like the plane's
Jack,
racing time.
Elaborate.
Because you need to get to that destination in a certain amount of time. Hence why they're like going off times and arriving times. It's racing against time.
Yeah, but
Which is in
that's
some-
using real
which
life
is-
logic.
Which is in some senses a metaphor for life.
Yeah.
Racing against time. And thank you, Jack,
I don't.
for adding that little seed to Simon's answer, which made it actually a very fully formed and brilliant answer. Simon,
I'm fine.
8
if you
points.
win.
Woohoo! Yeah.
5 of which go to Jack Martin Jones.
Because I helped you.
Retroactively. So you both share that. So Simon gets 8 points, which brings his
There's only
score
one
up to-
real winner, isn't there, Tim?
which brings
There's
us-
only one real winner here. The one who governs what happens.
So Simon's on 14, Jack was on 11 and a half, and you got 5 points, which means you beat Simon by a point and a half.
Basically, we're in a situation
Yay!
where me and you are escapists, and he's Colbits.
Don't be angry that you lost.
Whatever it's called.
Colbits are the bit you find at the bottom of a fire, Simon.
If you want to feel bad about, if you want to feel better about it, then I lose because I have more points because we're using the reverse of like the worst argument. So the one who gets higher points is the one who actually does the worst.
I don't want
Deus
to feel
Ex Machina,
better.
whim of a tyrant. You both win.
I don't want to feel better about it. I want it to end.
Right, okay.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's done.
Okay, so because we've still got 9 minutes left, we're going to talk about something that's close to my heart and, you know, sort of wraps up the show quite nicely. How was everyone's Christmas?
It was all right.
Of course we're not going to talk about Christmases. Christmases are rubbish. No. We're actually going to talk about...
I
about...
finished eating. You can carry on now. Ask
We're
me.
going to talk about what I was going to ask you. What was I going to ask you, Tim?
We're going to talk about plans for the summer.
Ah.
Oh, saved that one, didn't I?
Just kind of.
Oh, okay. No. We won't talk about plans for the summer. We'll talk about plans for the future. Where do you want to be? What's your 50-year plan, Jack?
What?
Yeah, do you guys believe in 5-year plans?
Well, I would have said 5-year plan, but Jack's going to spend 4 years of that running around the university as slowly as possible.
Yeah.
So, Jack, what's your
3-hour limit?
3-hour limit in 40 years?
What? My plan for the next 50 years, or plan of where I'm going to be? In
No,
50
what's your
years?
5-year plan? Do you have a 5-year plan? What's your thoughts on them?
I don't have a 5-year plan.
Okay, well that shoots this bit in
well-
the foot then.
Well, no,
No,
the only major.
But what do you think of them? Well,
the
like
only-
people that
No, I fully endorse that. That's wonderful that people can plan their future so eloquently. I can't because I'm just all over the place.
Really? I don't think it's even possible.
No.
How do you know where you're going to be in 5
The only
years?
thing I want to do is that I want to carry on and do a postgraduate and then go on and do a PhD, and hopefully in
okay.
5 years I'll maybe be a junior lecturer or work.
So you want to be Dr. Jones?
Yeah, like the
You
song.
cheat real big, Dr. Jones.
Oh, there's a
Strong
famous
wood
video.
in these
Dr.
strong
John.
wound.
You cheat.
You cheat real big, Dr. Jones. You
Oh, dear.
essentially want to be an archaeologist
Called Dr.
who's called Dr. Jones.
and have that. And every time I
Are
have
you
a
going
lecture,
to wear a fedora and a shirt that's see-through through sweat and buttoned up by one button?
Yeah.
And are you going to throw yourself out of a plane using a lifeboat
Yeah.
as a parachute?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wicked.
Also, every time I go in my lecture, I want to have the song Dr. Jones playing in the background.
Dr. Jones. that does put a new take on Indiana Jones. It's like there's a funny clip of in the final Dark Knight Rises, there is a scene in which there's a nuclear bomb in Gotham and Batman has to fly it out using his bat wing thing. And that's not spoiling the end for you. He just has to move the nuclear bomb with his little plane thing out, and there's this really it's like all sweeping music and it's really dramatic. And then someone on YouTube, quite a genius on YouTube,
Yeah,
just
it was
cut
good.
it with, "Ooh, pump the jam, pump it, just
pump the
it's
jam."
like he's just got through his stereo system.
Yeah.
So it's absolutely brilliant. So you're going to be essentially Indiana Jones, but Dr. Jones, Dr.
Yeah.
Jones, na, 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 na.
Do you think? Yeah. What sort of like music would you match to sort of
To your to
historical characters? Like, what do you think Sherlock? I know he did
Genghis
listen
Khan down at the bottom of the garden, amongst the birds and the bees.
To... Oh
A
dear.
little lot of little people, all descended from Genghis Khan, because he fathered many people, didn't he?
Yeah, I
he
still-
had a
I
lot of
still-
babies.
And killed.
We're
a lot
all
of people.
related to that guy.
That Genghis.
Well, we're all related
I don't
to
want to be.
Charlemagne.
I don't want to be.
also.
I don't want to be related to someone called Genghis. Have you met someone
Uncle
called
Genghis.
Hello?
Now, kids, it's Christmas dinner. I know you only see him once a year, but Uncle Genghis is stopping by. And
Genghis is the kid at school that doesn't bring a bag, he brings a wicker basket. Hello, guys! Hi! And he's the guy that's got those things from the 50s that held your socks up, braces that go around your calves to hold your socks up.
You know when you're in class and there's no glue left? It's because Genghis is eating it.
Genghis has eaten the glue. Yeah, somehow he had to have one of the most successful armies of all time and has fathered more people than have ever been fathered by one man. Well done, Genghis.
Do you think your house is so sticky because Genghis was there?
Probably.
That's why all the panties are in the
Actually,
wardrobe.
no, I have something else. I saw that you linked an article about Neanderthals.
Oh,
cloning
yeah, that was
Neanderthals.
cool.
And, like, no.
What?
No,
It couldn't work?
No, it couldn't work.
Why?
I never said it was scientifically
well,
accurate.
Explain the article and then say why it
It's
couldn't work.
essentially, there's a scientist who's trying to get a woman because they think they could be able to get the DNA of a Neanderthal and then make a Neanderthal, and then we could understand what Neanderthals were like. We could understand how they were like brain function wise, and they were probably just as intelligent as us. But they would be nothing like they were.
Yeah,
Because
it would
they're
be
brought
half
up in-
human.
Yeah, because they were brought up by humans.
Yeah.
It's like, of course they're not going to be like Neanderthals. We won't learn that much, and also it will be socially cruel
Yeah.
because it will be one Neanderthal.
Well, I remember reading an article
all
that
fairness,
said
no,
for
in all
all
fa-
intents and purposes, that Neanderthals were the smarter of the two kind of
They had
factions of
bigger
hu-
brains.
Yeah, they had bigger brains, and from what I heard, they had a better understanding of how tools work. We just had, as Homo sapiens, had better social skills and were better at working within groups and were bigger.
We were more
bum holes.
adaptable. We could adapt to things a lot easier. Neanderthals had a very specific kind of. They were short and stocky, and they were hard to adapt.
In all fairness, the only reason I sent
when you
that
do your
link-
documentary, Jack, is there going to be?
Yeah, at the beginning, I'll just.
This is Jack.
Now that's cool.
Neanderthals.
Going back in time and just having you walking around with a big stick pointing at them. They're short and stocky, good for some things, but we can.
It's party animal archaeologist Dr. Jones. Dr. Jones. No,
I'll
the
be
only
the new
reason-
Adam Hart Davies. So you remember, he's the guy.
Oh, I do know Adam.
Glasses guy, and he did like with the Romans and stuff, and he used to.
maybe,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, he's just kind of.
He's a kooky teacher.
He's literally something that just he was the institution that is the BBC. He was just knocking about, and somehow via osmosis acquired a television show where I don't really know what he did, but he was in a tax advert where he was inside a giant egg timer.
Talking about crazy TV shows, and this one was probably cancelled, but it's in a similar sort of strand. Do you guys remember when you were younger? There's this TV show where it was you would play against. It was a reality TV show where people went against each other in a game, and the game
You're
was.
being very vague with this.
Oh no, a video game. A video game.
Game Master.
No, because this particular video game was like reenactments of historical wars.
Oh God, I do
Time
remember.
Commanders.
Exactly.
Yeah, I
Time
remember
Commander.
that. Yeah.
I thought
You can see how it's difficult to explain.
Yeah.
We're
I
gonna
loved that.
be the only three people that did remember. Essentially, what it did is it took like Rome Total War, like a
Yeah.
like a strategy
I love
game,
that game.
and they essentially set it out and they put it as a TV show.
They banned gamers from that show.
did
They banned people who actually played
was just
games
historic-
because they would know how to do it.
they banned people that had any kind of clue as to how to win the battle.
They banned historians. I think like they only they did loads of people in the army basically, and they always lost.
It's like Total Wipeout. They banned basically anybody who is reasonably fit
Yeah.
and an athlete. They just get IT managers.
Yeah,
and-
they get. Hey, this is John, the IT manager. He hasn't had a salad in 3 years.
Oh God, I can't
Okay.
stand Richard Hammond. Oh, here comes Surfy John.
We have
John,
40 seconds.
Yeah,
40 seconds. So
40
40 seconds
seconds.
left.
So unfortunately, I know you've enjoyed
bye.
it, listeners. We're gonna have to say ta-ra,
Yeah.
goodbye, so
I would
long,
like- I would
farewell,
like- I
auf
would like-
get the
Wiedersehen, and
songs
good
ready.
night.
I would like to sign off and declare once again my hatred for Richard Hammond and logos.
Yeah,
yes.
Thank you very much.
yeah.
This has been Afternoon Delight.
If the big companies are listening, you head honchos, right? If you're gonna take anything from here, change your logos.
Cartoon Network especially.
Yes.
And Richard
Yes.
Hammond.
Bring that back.
Bring that back. So long,
Dr.
farewell.
Jones, Dr. Jones.
Bye.
online at nervemedia.org.uk. This is Bournemouth Student Radio.